This week, Boise State defensive lineman Ahmed Hassanein was named first team All-Mountain West. He ranks 5th in the country with 12 total sacks. An incredible accomplishment for anybody, but particularly in this case, when you consider the road he's traveled. On the banks of the Nile River in Northeast Africa sits Cairo, Egypt. A city filled with culture born from ancient roots. Home to a wonder of the world, final resting places of pharaohs, and one of the top pass rushers in college football.
Hassanein will get the sack!
I'm really grateful, and 5 years ago I didn't even know I was going to be here.
Ahmed Hassanein is the first college football player from Egypt.
Hassanein for the sack!
An improbable journey that started 15 years ago with a kid who craved a challenge.
I did every sport possible. I did like swimming, CrossFit, I did jiu-jitsu, I did judo, I did ping pong, I did basketball, I did everything. I did soccer, I did everything.
In 2018, a visit from his American half-brother Corey would change everything.
He's a high school football coach and an English teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, come play football for me. I was like, okay.
At the time, Ahmed knew very little about American football. His only exposure to the game was highlights on the internet.
You know, there's YouTube videos that have big hits, good catches, stuff like that. All I knew was people running, tackling, and people running, catching the ball. That's all I know about football. I didn't know there was a quarterback, I didn't know there was a wide receiver, I didn't know there was a D-line, D-end, D-tackle, nose guard. All these people, I did not know anything about that.
Ahmed took a leap of faith and moved to Los Angeles for high school. Speaking very little English, he did his best to learn the game that would ultimately change his life.
Didn't know really what to do there, just grabbing face masks, just throwing people on the ground, try to play wide receiver, couldn't catch the ball, I was really bad at catching the ball. So I was like, all right, what I'm gonna do? You told me to, like, all right, stay on the D-line and go get the guy who has the ball. I was like, okay.
It didn't take long for the new kid in town to thrive on the field, and a young defensive coach in Boise, Idaho, named Spencer Danielson took notice.
He texted me and he was like, love your film. And I was like, oh wow, Boise State, check this out.
What neither knew at the time, Danielson played college football with Ahmed's brother at Azusa Pacific years ago.
And his brother is probably 5'10", 180, and he called me and said, and this is during COVID, so we couldn't go out and recruit, and his brother called me and said, hey Spence, you know, my brother plays defensive line, I think he can play at Boise. And my initial thought is, we're not looking for any more 5'10", 190-pound defensive linemen, right? And he sent me some Twitter videos and just some videos of him essentially like in a garage with, I'm talking full on mask on, working pass rush drills against like a neighbor. And I'm like, dude, that's a big dude. Like, that's an explosive guy.
Good. Yeah.
Through what Ahmed calls a miracle, he became a Boise State Bronco.
The first time he came here, we gave him a protein shake, and it was like, what? Like, do I get this every workout? It's like, yeah, it's college football. You get nutrition. He's like, it was like I gave him $1 million because he's grateful for everything he's given. You coach him. Coach, thank you for that.
Ahmed continues to learn the English language and the game of football thanks to his teammates. In return, he's eager to share his culture with them. Last spring, he took Bronco linebacker Marco Notriani back to his hometown of Cairo.
It was surreal. I mean, definitely hit all the touristy spots, and it was very cool. I didn't know you could crawl through one of the pyramids and see one of the caskets in there, and so it was a tight squeeze for me and Ahmed. I felt more like I was in Indiana Jones, just like crawling through tight crawl space and just getting through the middle, and you just look around, you're in the middle of one of the great pyramids. Really cool.
Ahmed's impact on this program reached its pinnacle last Saturday. The new kid from Egypt, who has recorded a sack in 8 straight games, was asked to carry the hammer and lead the Broncos onto the field in the regular season finale.
He about to start crying. Yeah, he about to start crying. He'll grab you by the face, Coach D. Thank you.
it meant the world to me, and just to lead my brothers, and I know they have my back, and just to raise that hammer. And when you have 36,000 people watching you, and you have the hammer, it's a feeling that you're never gonna forget, and I'm never gonna forget that feeling.
Hassanein anchors a very diverse and smart defensive line here at Boise State. 7 players speak a total of 8 different languages. In Boise, Idaho, I'm Jesse Kurtz for the Mountain West Network.